Hello, you beautiful people. OpenDarkwing here, and this is Modded Minecraft. It's been a while since I've actually seen and talked to you guys, and I apologize for that, but I am back. I know this is a little different than some of you might be expecting coming from me. However, this is a game that I have been playing for a while, off and on, and I've recently gotten back into it, and I have recently built up a passion again for playing Minecraft, and more specifically, modded Minecraft. I think the mods add a lot of layers to everything, so we're going to run with this for a while. This is Mechanical Mastery. It is a automation tech-based mod pack that it strives to take away some of the grind. So I have kind of dabbled with it and tested it a few times, and it seems to be a really fun pack, and I think it'd be a great one to start working in. My introduction to modded Minecraft was Project Ozone, one of the Project Ozones 3, maybe? And it was a skyblock, and so since then I have been kind of hooked on mods, and more specifically skyblocks. All of the mod packs I go through will not be skyblocks. Skyblocks will be a lot of them, or other styles. I am not a massive fan of the grind of mining, and so like Ex Nihilo is one of my saving graces there, because it just allows you to gather resources and do these things without having to, you know, sit there with the hefty grind and everything else. So, that all being said, if you did find my channel because of my flight sim stuff, that's not necessarily going away. It's just not going to be a very big part right now. I kind of have a wonderful relationship with this game, and I kind of want to dive back into it for a while and build some stories with it. So, Mechanical Mastery. Just like most skyblock, you start off on a island of dirt. Looks like you got quite a bit of dirt here, and a tree, and a quest book, which is here. So, welcome. Mechanical Mastery is an expert, yet not horribly grindy skyblock mod pack, which is awesome, focused around automating everything in order to keep progressing. EMC has been completely overhauled. Oh, that's awesome. And only raw resources such as ore chunks have EMC. A new mechanical essences can be crafted out of these raw materials with multiple tiers, giving exponentially more EMC the more complicated they get. In order to succeed in this mod pack, you will need to learn how to automate these mechanical essences and gain as much EMC as possible. Good luck. Oh, awesome. So not everything's going to be EMCable, but there's going to be enough to where it takes away from the grind. Sweet. And we start with tier 1 thermal. So let's go check out. Oh, we have a configuration panel. Oh, this is cool. A lot of times in these things, especially with skyblock and early on, there are things that you just don't need the annoyance for. One of them is the day-night cycle. You can turn that off with Banish the Moon, or you can turn it back on. We're going to go ahead and turn it off. We have, it looks like, keeping inventory on, or having to go back and get like a tombstone to get your stuff back, but we're going to go ahead and leave that one alone. The phantoms issue, who likes phantoms? No one does. So this eliminates the need for sleeping. By pressing this button, you want to remember to keep sleeping in order to stop phantoms spawning, which is less of an issue because it's never going to be night. And this last one is about rain. We're not going to need rain for water. We're not going to need rain for much of anything. It just gets loud, annoying, and we'll go ahead and turn you off as well. Overhauled ore processing. So this mod pack offers incredibly powerful methods of increasing ore yield per ore chunk, starting at double output and going up over 25 ingots per ore. This is going to be important because as we're trying to pull out more and more and more, it won't offset the EMC apparently. Although not strictly necessary, this may be particularly useful to use since it will allow you to get more materials with less EMC cost. Do note the machines shown on the quest aren't necessarily all the machines that will be required for the whole process. So we have, you know, for like the dusts and the pulverizers, and then we go into catalysts. So we have flint as a catalyst, we have Bazal's powder as a catalyst, and you see these, you know, 1.1 times 1.25, 1.5, 2.0, 2.5, 2, and so on and so forth. So read this, and then we got the purification stuff, which can just get crazy with purification. So we're here. We are at thermal. So we start with the welcome, where it all begins. Objective is to automate every mechanical crystal. So there's going to be these mechanical crystals in the game up here. And you automate the process of making the essences. And then that makes the actual crystal, like for example, this one goes through multi-servo press. And it will give you a chunk of EMC. And the nice thing about this is that EMC links output 1 item per second. This will become more important. We'll go ahead and reread this. But the idea is that the materials to make this cost less than the EMC output of this. And so this is a way to net gain EMC. And the idea is to automate this process before you move on to the next one, in which you'll then utilize those to build up more stuff to automate this one, and so on and so forth. So the idea is to automate everything down until the end game system, where you start here and it just looks like it just builds up and up and out. So that is our goal. Our ultimate goal is the creative vending upgrade. So unlimited item withdrawal with restore and retrieve items from the infinite deep center of the final star. If you crash this, congratulations, you win the mod pack. And they give you a fish. So we start with thermal. We start where it all begins. We get all these things to begin with. Also, it says that there are no refunds. So when you get these items, make sure that you check to see if they are EMCable. I believe, yep, Ultimine is in this as well. So that's good news. They give you an extra sapling in case this does not yield any saplings, but we got 3 saplings from it. But the idea of the Ultimine is that when you knock out something of one thing, you get all those items. Oh, it looks like we got a chest here with even more stuff. And we get ourselves 8 more saplings from getting our log. And it looks like the saplings and the logs are EMCable. So let's put down one of our tablets and we'll go over here. So anything that's EMCable can be thrown in here, and it gives us our EMC. I believe that's all that's EMCable out of all of this. It is. Looks like we're gonna have to make ourselves a cobblestone generator to make sure that we get our cobblestone up and running, and we'll get that in a second. If our chest, so we'll just go ahead and pick that up, and we can start utilizing that here in a minute as well. And let's grab a piece of dirt, and I'll show you what I mean by this. So you put it in, it goes up by 1, you take it out, it gets reduced by 1. And so we can take these out and refill it back in, and we're good to go on that. So we get ourselves a log. Planks. Oh, hang on. Yeah. So I'll also explain. So planks are not EMCable. The logs are. The planks are not. So I'm willing to also say that the coal ore is EMCable. Coal itself is not EMCable. So you have to start off with the base, the most basic of bases, in order to store and pull stuff out. So you still have to build stuff, and that's still a thing. Does this do... It does do the crafting station thing. Oh, awesome. Let's get ourselves out of sapling. And I believe there is tap shift. Yep, tap shift to grow things quickly. We get ourselves some more saplings, which is good, but we can also put these back in and run it through. I think what I want to do is, looking at this, let's look at the quest book real quick first. Yeah, it looks like we're going to need to do a basic cobblestone generator. So we're going to do the most basic of basic cobblestone generators. It's the easiest one. You run 3 out this way. Let's break all these down, and we make ourselves a stair. So what we do is you take a bucket of lava and a bucket of water. You put down the stair facing this way. You log the stair. We are going to need sticks and a pickaxe. You dump the lava in on this side, and when it comes through and touches, because it's waterlogged, it sees it as water, but it won't turn the water source in, and we have ourselves, well, there we go. We have ourselves a cobblestone. So we can put that in there, and we learned cobblestone, which is absolutely awesome. So we're now in the Stone Age, and we can move forward from there. So we get 64 cobblestone, and it unlocks these. So this gives you the base resources automatically. So this takes out a lot of the issues of early grind of trying to get a bunch of these resources, instead of doing the ex nihilo thing where you break down cobblestone into gravel and break down gravel into sand and sand into dust and all those things. This automatically gives you all of that to be able to throw in as an EMC. Oh, clay can be turned into bricks and other important resources for automation and crafting. So we get clay, which is also EMCable. And then we've completed this first whole bottom half of this system. So we put these in here. We gain EMC, but we also gain the ability to pull all of these out, which is extraordinarily helpful in the long run. So let's pick this up and pick you back up. Chop you out. I should probably use an axe for this, but I'm not going to because I don't have to. Because why not? We'll put back in our dirt. And I think what we'll end up doing is building up some EMC. Although, one thing I want to try, because I believe these transmutation tables can be placed on the sides of objects as well. And if that's the case, I'm going to want to move you too. I think what I'm going to do real quick is we are going to peel this down even further down. I'm going to preserve some of the grass here, but I want to drag this whole thing down to a base level and EMC up all this dirt. So I will return when I get that down, and then we'll start building up EMC and start building ourselves out a starting platform and figuring out what we're going to do from there. So I will be back in a minute, and we will get started with throwing this all together. Okay, we have moved the grass down here. We've built a nice little platform that's one down. And as I was saying before, I believe, yes, you can. You can put the table right on the front there. This will access into the chest. So I think the next thing we need to do is build a small platform out to the side for some tree stuff and gather up some EMC. And then we can figure out what we're doing from here. We've got ourselves a little bit of EMC. Let's figure out where we go from here. We need to make ourselves an engineer's hammer and then get ourselves a plate. But that means we're going to need to build ourselves a nice little furnace and get that going. And then we'll figure out where we're going from here and talk about how we want to... I'm actually need a few of these, aren't I? We're going to need 3 of them for an engineer's hammer, plus an extra one for the plate. So what we need to start talking about is where we're going to go. We obviously are going to be starting with thermal expansion and getting these things all up, because to automate our mechanical essence, we're going to need that. We'll go ahead and get the plate. We'll look at what we need to do for these. We'll need iron, we'll need aluminum, which comes from the bauxite, and 2 copper rods, which are initially made from 2 copper ingots. So we'll need 4, 4, and 4 to get the mechanical essence built. So we're going to need 4 of you, 4 bauxite for the aluminum, and 4 more raw iron to get that going. Now the coal, and here's the thing. So the coal is 128 EMC, and I believe that the drop sources, you can smelt it for 1, but I believe you only get 1 coal out of it to start with. Induction smelters will give you 1 with an additional 1, but the pulverized will give you 2. But I believe that the initial hit from coal is just 1 piece. Let's verify that. And so if that's the case, then we need to figure out a better way of doing this until we get power. Yeah, you get 1 coal for breaking each one. So we get 1 coal per, and they give, if you hit U and then you go over to fuel, it's 8 items to smelt for 128. Oak planks, I believe, is 1.5. So you get 6 per log, 6 items per log. And if you look at this 128 versus 32, for a while, it's going to be economical. It's going to be economic for us to use planks instead of coal in our furnaces, just because of an EMC. You gotta think of it as like a currency. Everything that you do runs off of an EMC, which is kind of a currency bank of stuff to do. So the idea is you just keep building up EMC either through this, or that's one of the big trees, isn't it? And then you just kind of go through and figure out what you're going to do. Dear Lord, that was a lot of stuff that fell over the edge, but we did get a handful of stuff back, so we're good there. Everything that we're going to be doing, we definitely need to figure out on the EMC side. Now, is this available? It is not. So we do not have that way of getting string, which is fine. We'll just keep keep doing this while everything else is kind of going on. We'll keep running our tree system. We're getting a few apples while we're at it as well. So that's good. And this is the way we'll just kind of keep building EMC for a while. What I think I might want to do is eventually get some bone meal, but I don't think you get that till later on. But I could build a composter and get bone meal out that way. All right, so we have one of these that will collect up this way. We need 2 copper rods. One of these guys. We do want an engineer's hammer, which is this here and here. And then we put this in with this, and we can get ourselves an iron plate. And that gives us this one complete, plates and rods. Now we can build into mechanical essences, but we can't do anything with it until we get ourselves the multi-servo press. For that, we're going to need Constantin, we're going to need bronze, a machine frame with tin. There's just a lot of stuff to go in, but we're going to need power. So let's get Sterling Dynamo made, and we'll figure out the power, and I will be back as soon as we get this thing made. One thing I want to do, and I want to make it kind of clear as I'm going through this, a lot of the building of stuff I might skip over, and we'll talk about how we're automating things versus all of the nitty-gritty ins and outs of building everything. The reason for this is so that it doesn't get too grindy and boring in video as well as with everything else. But if we take the copper rods, we take the gears, we'll go ahead and we'll put this together. Does this matter? No, it does not matter how it goes. So then we have our mechanical essence. We'll throw that in there for now. We'll build out the Sterling Dynamo, which is redstone. We have stones. We're going to have to cook down some stone. A couple iron ingots, that iron gear, and a redstone flux coil, which is 2 redstone and a gold. So we're going to need gold. We're going to need iron, because we're going to need 4 for this plus 2. The gold, we need a thing of redstone, and we'll need 2 cobblestone to build into stone as well. So we'll get you out. We have the gold. We're going to get the redstone ore out, and I'll pull out a few more of these just so that we have fuel in the fire. And as things are going, we will keep putting down some trees and keep breaking trees. How many do we get? Oh, I need an iron level. Oh, that was almost bad. So we're going to need a couple extra iron to get me an iron level pickaxe. That will be something. All right, we have our stone for that. We'll grab our 3 iron. We'll get an iron level pickaxe. We'll see how much redstone we get, and we'll move from there. All right, we got our 3, so let's get this pickaxe made. We'll figure out how much redstone we get. And once we figure that out, then we get 4. Well, that's interesting. Let us do this real quick. Do we have wooden shears, or is it just, it is just the iron shears? Okay. So maybe we'll do that as well, because what we can do with the wooden shears, or the iron shears, we'll pull out a couple more here to throw in to replace that which I'm borrowing. We need to throw you in here. But what I want to build is compost. Oops, small. So we build this. And what I can do from here is we get ourselves our saplings. we get the shears out. Let's go ahead and do it that way. Whew, almost lost that. So we get our shears out, and then what we can do is we can compost down to get our bone meal. And I know we could probably wait until chapter 2 for this. However, I do remember, or if I remember correctly, I believe I do. We got regular seeds. And that's what I was looking for. I was looking for these industrial hemp seeds. So, a much faster way of getting EMC out. Oak leaves aren't, wheat seeds are not, eggplant seeds do not EMC, but these hemp seeds do. Which means if we can grow the hemp, then we have ourselves another different pathway for EMC, because each one of these seeds is, as we can see, it is 16 EMC. Even though we don't have really. See, we can do it this way. And we can just keep growing it. And I believe that all of this, yep, hemp fiber, 32 each. Which gives us a better source of EMC going forward. And I think I like this idea quite a bit. We're going to throw these in here and this little extra stuff. And we'll utilize this to get ourselves some quick EMC that way, because it just is a lot faster doing it this way than it is. And if you just break the top, you get your stuff and you don't have to replant. You just make sure you don't angle downward. You bounce, you harvest. You bounce, you harvest. And this will help us get EMC a lot faster than growing the trees will. Because we have logs that are EMCable, we don't really have to worry about that too much going forward. But where were we? Oh yeah. Gold. We have ourselves a redstone flux coil, and I believe we just need the iron gear, which we can pull, and then we can build ourselves our Stirling dynamo, which gives us our foray into power. So eventually we're going to be going through, there's basic power transport, which uses the power mod, which I'm really glad is in here because they are really nice to have. But 2 iron ingots. Dielectric paste is the paste, which is a couple of charcoal, redstone, bust, clay ball, or, you know, that way to get that. And then capacitors, you get 2 tiny ones out of a basic, which is a block of redstone, some paste, and some more iron. So we're going to need a bit more iron. We're going to need some coal, or instead of coal, what we can do is, here, let's do this. Let's pull out a stack of you, and we'll throw you in there, and that will make us charcoal. So each piece of charcoal then would be 32 EMC, and I believe if you hit U, charcoal will also smelt 8 items. So this is now 8 items for 32 EMC versus 8 items for 128. Now there is going to be some time where coal is going to be very important for us to get, and I'm not discounting that at all. But I think I want to build a second furnace for now. And let us collect up some of this stuff, and we'll go ahead and get some of our item and power transports, and then we'll start looking at getting these dusts in, and we'll get all the way up to looking at our machines and figuring out what to do from there. So give me a second to get some of this stuff built up. Okay, so looking at the quest book, we're going to go ahead and pull out our dusts, and then we'll figure out, maybe we'll build up our, because we need bronze. So the bronze would be made from, oops, wrong bronze. Thermal bronze, here we go. A bronze blend, which is 3 copper and a tin to make bronze blend. We'll get this multi-servo press. We'll get this thing pressed up and out. And, you know, maybe we'll figure out some of the stuff down that way. We have charcoal being churned out down here. But we have this for the 2 dusts that we need to move forward. So we utilize our engineer's hammer. Oh, we are going to need to make the dust. So does it matter then which direction you put this? Or do you do it from the raw? Hang on a second. I think I may have screwed this all up. Ah, you do it from the raw to make the dust. Ah, ha, 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 ha. All right, so we need 2 iron, 2 nickel, and a copper. So you use the raw formation to make the grit or the dust or whatever that way. And then from there, you can make your Constantin blend that way and your Invar blend this way. And then you put these in here to cook them up. Okay, that makes more sense. We got Constantin, we've got Invar now, and we are well on our way to getting through to these machines. So this is going to take bronze, which is, I'm going to make sure it's a thermal bronze, which is the bronze blend, which is 3 copper and a tin. So we pull out 3 copper and 1 tin. We hammer these out. So we have the 3 and the tin. We put you in, the copper around, and that gives us a bronze blend. So we can pull that out. We can throw in the bronze. We'll be able to make ourselves our first machine. And then we will work on expanding this platform out, kind of building something that looks somewhat similar to something, a base shape. But as you can see, none of this stuff is EMC-able. So we have to start with raw ingredients and build our way toward a raw system. So that's going to be quite nice. It's going to be very different and a really good different take on EMC. We're going to need tin gear and 4 iron ingots, but we're going to need that for all of these, because all of them are making the machine frames. So what we're going to do is, I think what we're going to end up doing is leaving it off here. We'll come back next time and we will figure out our way of doing everything else that we need to do. We'll expand out the base a bit because this is looking a little tiny still. We'll build up the machines and we'll start talking about automating everything and what we have to do from there. So I'll gather all the stuff to build the machines. We'll assemble them the next episode. We'll build up some automation. And in between then and now, I will spend some time gathering some EMC, as well as building out this base to make it look a little bit better and a little bit bigger. But until next time, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys all later.